Hello everyone, my name is Shivam Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel Salesforce Scenarios. And now today we will be learning about validation rule in Salesforce. So let's get started. So basically, guys, what are validation rule in Salesforce? Validation rules plays a very important role in Salesforce. Means validation rules verify that data entered by users and records meet the standard you specify before they can save it. A validation rule can contain a formula or expression that evaluates the data in one or more fields and return a value of true or false. Usually these rules effectively contributes to quality data. Let's say we'll be taking an example that you can ensure that all phone number fields contain a specified format or that discounts applied to a certain products never exceed a defined percentage. So how Salesforce process validation rules in an organization? Salesforce process validation rule in the following order. Means let's say first validation rule will be there, then assignment rule is there, then auto response rule will be fired, workflow rule will be fired with immediate actions, and the escalation rule will be fired. So consider all the setting in your organization that can make a record fail validation, including assignment rules, field updates, field level security, all fields hidden on a page layout. So some of the best practices are be careful for contradicting validation rules for the same field. Otherwise user won't be able to save the record. Keep in mind that when a validation rule contains the begins or contains function, it processes blank field as valid. When using a validation rule to ensure that a number field contain a specific value, use the isBlank function to include fields that do not contain any value. Or guys, one an important function is that if we are applying validation rule on a certain object to a particular field, if that validation rule is evaluated to be true, the user will get the error on that field. If evaluated to false, record gets saved in Salesforce while applying the validation rule. Now we'll be having some kind of business scenarios through which we can be able to understand more about the validation rule and the best practices we are taking while creating the validation rule for different business use case, different Salesforce scenarios. So first we'll be discussing about all the scenarios and then we'll be doing some kind of hands-on these scenarios. First scenario is validate that the phone number begin with a plus sign for country code. Note that this validation rule conflicts with 10-digit rule. Validate that a custom date field contains a date within the current month and year. Validate that a custom date field contains a date within the current year as well. We'll be having again different scenario. Prevent sales rep from changing opportunity stage backward to a specific values once they have accepted the opportunity via custom approval process. The approval process sets a custom accepted flag checkbox to be true there. There is a custom field with the name accepted flag. Ensure that only the record owner can make changes to a custom field called personal goal. There will be a personal goal on a certain object field so that if that is updated, then only a record owner of that record can be able to update that field. Validate a custom field called website. There is a custom field with website to ensure that it lasts 4 characters are in an explicit set of valid website extension. Let's say www.google.com, www.facebook.com. Like this we can be able to enter in the website. So now some configurations we'll be taking care of, some hands-on challenges on which discussed previously about the scenarios we were implementing in our Salesforce organization. Now we'll be moving to the scenarios what we have discussed previously. Let's say first scenarios is that validate that phone number begin with the plus sign for country code. Now what we are doing, I'll be moving to my Salesforce org. Let's say I'll be taking this on my contact object. hitting on the contact object there, validation rules. Now I'll be creating new validation rule for this scenario, making it phone number as international format. If you want to write any kind of description, then we can be able to write description as well. So this is the main thing where we have to add our logic. Let's say I'll be adding logic here. Let's say I'll be using one of the function called left. What we'll be writing under this bracket, let's say on which field I have to add the validation, comma, value start with 1, then I'll be keeping these two braces, I'm giving space, inverted commas, I'll be giving the plus sign because I have to add the plus sign there. Now I'll be checking the syntax. No error found in my syntax. What will be the error message I want to give? Phone number must begin with plus country code. I'll be hitting on the save button. Again, I'll be moving to my contact object there from the app manager just for the testing purpose that my validation rule is working or not correctly. Going to my contact object, all contacts I'll be moving. Let's say I'll be clicking on AV green there, going to details. Now in phone field we have the value like this, but we don't want this. If I just giving the value as my phone number, hitting on the save button, then I'll be getting the error message that phone number must begin with plus country code. Now I'll be again editing this, adding plus 91 India code and hitting on the save button. Then my phone got saved here. So this is the first validation rule. We have covered the first scenario there. Now we'll be moving to the second scenario. The second scenario is that the custom date field contains a date within the current month and the current year. So again I'll be moving to my Salesforce org. Let's say again what we are doing, we'll be going to the setup, going to the object manager there. On account object I'll be creating this. Let's say moving to the account object there, creating the validation rule for this same, that a custom date field contains a date within the current month and the year. I'll be moving again to new. What will be the value? Date will be in the current month and year. Will not take lot more character for rule name. Let's say it will be month only. If we want to add any description, we can add. So now what we are doing, I'll be adding the formula there. Let's say I start with or, giving the curly braces, putting enter there. Now the logic will be I'm writing is that I'll be taking year in which I have to take my current date. I have created one custom field there. So I'll be inserting one field. Let's say my date is there. Inserting that field on that field I want my validation rule to be fired. Adding this, what will be the logic? Year, again opening the braces. Let's say today function I'll be using for this, and again I'll be adding the different condition. I have added the condition for year as well as I have to add the same condition for month. Again copy pasting this field here. Adding the month function, it's same for today as well. Again braces I'll be adding. Want to add more? No, I have correct with my logic. Again checking the syntax, no errors found there. What error message I want to give is date must be in the current month. Hitting on the save button. We have done with this validation rule. Now I'll be moving to my account object. Going to any of the records. Let's say I'll be just clicking on the all records there. Let's say Burlington Textile Corp of America. Going to so there I have created one of my field with my date here. If I just give the previous year date and the let's say it will be 2019 June, hitting on the save button, then I'll be getting the validation error that date must be in the current month. If I again go to this field, giving the current year, current month we are running with June. Let's say I'll be giving the 29th June there, hitting on the save button. Now my record got saved. Again we'll be moving to the different scenario that validate that a custom date field contains a date within the current year. For that what we are doing, we will be again creating one formula field. I'll be going to my Salesforce org again. This where I have to go. This field I have created in my lead object. Guys, I have created these custom fields in different objects so that we can be able to correlate and we can be able to understand that yes, in which object we are creating these business scenarios of validation rules. Again moving to lead. Creating validation rule. Hitting on new button there. What will be the rule name? The rule name will be date must be in the current year. Any kind of description you want to add, then you can be able to add the description. I'll be adding the formula here. Let's say we have to calculate for the current year. Inserting the field. I have created one field with my date here. This is the custom field here, inserting the field. This here should be from today. Function we will be adding, checking the syntax. No error found. What error message I have to give? Date must be in current year. Hitting on save button. Again moving to my lead object there. Clicking on one record just to check that my validation rule is working or not correctly. Going to my date field. First what we are doing, adding 2018, any date of 2018, hitting on save button. My validation is working properly. Date must be in the current year. Again editing this, adding the year to 2020. Let's say 15. Hitting on the save button. Yes, my record got successfully saved. Now what we are doing, I'll be moving to the next scenario. The next scenario is the prevent sales rep. So guys, for remaining scenarios like prevent sales rep from changing opportunity stage backwards to specific values once they have accepted the opportunity via custom approval process, in this we have to create a accepted flag checkbox, that is a custom field, and make that field to be true. And for the different scenario, like ensure that only the record owner can make changes to a custom field called personal goal. Validate a custom field called website to ensure its last 4 characters are in an explicit set of valid website extension. So guys, for these 3 remaining scenarios, you please apply your mind, create some validation rules, and if you are facing any issues, please comment under this video and I'll be taking care of that. I'll be giving you the exact answer for the solutions. So guys, thank you very much for watching this videos. Please like, share and subscribe my video.